Good afternoon. This is from Kenya, and I don't know which part of the world you're tuned in. Good morning, good evening. My name is Shahwana, and we'll be starting the session soon. Thank you for joining us for this amazing session from the Global Pranic Healing. And the session today, we are going to talk about positive life transformation. And I'm hoping that many of us will get inspired by the session we're going to share today, by the insights which we get. And hopefully, we will be able to run our life through a little different than we have been. So we are here to inspire ourselves actually through the session. Yes. So again, thank you very much for joining. We still have, I think, 2 minutes to start at 3 p.m. Kenya time, 8 p.m. Philippines time, and I believe 5:30 India time and other zones. So thank you for joining in. Thank you for being here, part of this amazing session by Global Pranic Healing. We'll just give it 2 minutes for the time so others can join in. Thank you.
Atma Namaste, Shahwana.
Atma Namaste, Chandni. DP, I think you need to join from your side. It's from your phone or whichever device you're using. You need to check your audio. We'll just give it 1 minute for the time zone to start so we can start the session for those who are joining us. Okay, so let's begin with our session for positive life transformation. If it's okay with you, I'd like to start with a small invocation. I hope you're all okay with that. If you're not, it's all right. Just relax, hear me through, and just be there. If okay, you may join me with just a normal universal prayer to ask for help before we start the session today. So just close your eyes. You may just relax and inhale gently and exhale gently, comfortably, and we'll start. Okay, we invoke for the help and blessings of God, with the help and blessings of the dear Supreme God. Thank you for blessing us all today here, gathered in this group with your light, with your love, and with your power. Thank you for blessing all of us with a lot of good health. Thank you for blessing us with positive life transformation in all fields of our life. Thank you for blessing us with this session with clarity of mind and thought, so we're able to understand, assimilate these teachings, and be able to put them in action in our daily lives. Thank you for all the light and love that you share with us immensely. We may not always be able to share and understand what happens in our lives, but thank you for blessing us and giving us this clarity. And through this session, thank you for blessing that we may get more clarity. Thank you for all the blessings that we receive with deep gratitude, with lots of love and respect. Thank you. Now, the session begins, and I'd like to say a big thank you to my teacher of Pranic Healing, Grandmaster Choboksui. Those of you are Pranic healers, of course, you know the contribution the teacher has given to the earth, to the world. And those of you who have not joined our sessions today, we would like to share a little bit about how transformation in life can take place. So I'll just share a short presentation and we'll discuss a little bit more. Thank you. I will ask Global Pranic Healing to allow me to share a screen, so they'll do it in a minute. Okay, so let's start with understanding positive life transformation. What does the word positive mean to us? That means we have to be in a certain vibration. And I would like to ask each one of us here, is it possible to be uh, in that position every day, every time. Can anybody be positive every minute of their time? They can't. There are days when we go through ups and downs. Now, why do we have to get a transformation which is positive? One thing which I looked and understood a little bit about this is that, we need to change our lifestyle. We need to change who we are. Now, if we go back to 1 year, not even a year, if we go back a few months ago, what has happened to the earth? The earth is going through some very, very interesting times, and we know that. Who was expecting a pandemic to take place? None of us. So it started like a small issue, then became a bigger issue. And then recently we have seen that it became better. And now again in other countries there's a lockdown. So many people lost their jobs. Families got into more stressful energies. People had relationship issues, people had financial issues. So today I just want to share which I feel would help, and I think that's my understanding, and you can take what you feel home from the learnings which we have gotten through for the past few months. Now, what has kept me going personally? Yes, and many of you will agree that it's understanding one day at a time. Okay, you wake up tomorrow morning hoping things will be better, but then you listen to the news and then there have been so many deaths. How did we handle that? Yes, did we look at into this situation and say, listen, this is not a good situation, but then I'd like to ask, what can we do about it? Think about it. What can we do about it? Can we prevent death? Can we prevent the COVID-19 situation, or we can take positive precautions for it? What would you rather be able to do? Actually, if you look at it, we are able to take positive preventions. That is in our hands. Can we prevent that? Not really. But can we take precautions? And I will use the word positive because that is in our hands. So, what is a positive prevention? Making sure we're washing our hands, making sure that we have our mask on, making sure we're having social distancing on. But is it possible to do that for making sure that others are following this? Maybe not. You can educate them, but what is in your hand is what you can control. So looking at that, that's the first thing which I will call as a positive transformation. Yes, this is how you will look after yourself. This is in my hands. This I can do. But I can't go into people's houses and start telling them, okay, this is how you should behave and this is what you should do. By doing that, we are stressing ourselves. By doing that, sometimes we are forcing our views on other people. But our duty as towards planet Earth is a lot. So let's look into little things and then we will look into the practicalities of how and what we can do as a positive transformation. I'll just share my screen and then we'll just discuss a little matters here. Thank you. So positive transformation also is, pranic healing for a healthier, happier you. But many of us may not know pranic healing, but I can see many of who have joined here are pranic healers already. So many of the matters may be a repetition, sorry about it, but it's good reminders are always there. So let's look at it. Of course, all our gratitude to the teacher of pranic healing, Master Choa Kok Sui, without whom we wouldn't actually understand a lot of concepts. So let's look at it as a positive life transformation. First, we're going to discuss a little bit about the health. We can go into a little bit about relationships. We can look into the financial aspects, and then we can go into the daily life schedules. Now, I'd like to ask a simple question. There is always ease in life with good health, especially now that we face pandemic. Now, how many of us are actually happy having a good life? A healthy life is what I would say. Many of us appreciate that, yes, we're in good health, that we can move on and not go through the pandemic. And many people who have been facing COVID-19 and who have recovered from it, suddenly they appreciate life a bit better. Now, let me ask you a question. What is ease? The word ease comes when you have less pain in your body. The word ease comes when you have less stress in the body. Now, what is disease? Disease is when you have all what we're talking about. So Ease is what we need. And how do I get to that ease? That is called the positive transformation of taking steps in your life. Number one, we know the rules, health rules. Maybe we should exercise a bit more. Physically, we can look at it from that perspective. Maybe we should eat a little healthier. Perhaps we should have a positive attitude towards life, towards our health. One thing we notice is that this body is ignored a lot until it gives you signals. So let's talk about that. Okay? So, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So, if you look at it, it's a complete physical, mental, and social well being. Health is wealth. But how many of us literally take this and put it into action? Now, I want you to think of an event in your life when your body was not well. Now, remember those days? How did you feel? There was amazing food in front of the table, you didn't feel like eating. Maybe there was a nice movie playing in the movie theater, you didn't feel like going out. Friends had called you for an amazing party, you didn't feel like going out. Why? Because there was a disease in the body. It was lack of ease. So we take our health really, really for granted. Do you know that? Until something goes wrong. Now, does our body respond to this? How do you know you have an issue in your body? Because there will be aches and pains. Look at a simple situation like a fever. Do you know the body heats up? We know that. My body heats up when I have fever. But what is the body telling you? The body is telling you I'm not well. Imagine if you went to the doctors and the doctor said, you know, your WBC are really high. There is some immunity, lack of immunity. There is something happening in your body. Do you know without fever you would not know? And this is what sadly which happens to many cancers which are ignored in the body. There's not just cancer, but there's so many other problems which take place. Now, my sweet friends, I just want to ask you, how many of you take your body or your body's well-being for granted? Most of us, including myself. So there was a day when I was not feeling very okay, and I started talking to my body. And I was thinking, if there's a conscious and subconscious level, and the body really, really responds, what could be the answer be? So talking to the body, I think, of course, I wasn't getting get answers from the body. Doesn't talk to you back, but it actually relates to you. It gives you signals. How does it give you signals? I'm not well here. That's why I have a pain here. I'm not at ease here. That's why I'm having a pain here. So how can I help myself? One of the things you can do is taking positive steps forward for your body. Number one, looking at yourself with a positive attitude is very, very important. You know what you say to your body, it reacts. Okay, the body has a subconscious and conscious mind of its own, you know that also, and it responds. That means the muscles, the tissues have a consciousness. So imagine somebody is at the door and somebody says, okay, let's knock, let's knock the door, and you actually automatically listening to the doorbell, get up and go and open the door. What happened? There was a signal from the brain. The brain sent a signal to your body to move. So you were able to move. That's a signal. So that means your body reacts to what you say. It actually follows your instructions. What happens to a person who is paralyzed? Do you think it's the hands and the legs medically which fail? Actually, if you look at it from a different perspective, that's not what really happens. What happens is the signal from the middle region of the brain, it's the master chakra. So, pranic healing, you know the stuff. But medically, we are told that there's a vein right in the, not really a vein in the brain, there's a signal which the brain cells, which we call the motor brain, send signals to the body that gets ruptured. The vein gets maybe disrupted, and the signal is not longer sent to the brain, to the body, the left or the right side, or whichever which get damaged. So even if the brain is trying to send the signals, the body does not respond. What does this tell you? There's a link missing. So what happens? The body does not get the signals, and then a paralysis attack happens, and that body part or the body parts does not move. So it all begins with the thought form. Now, what are your thoughts like towards your health? Have you met people who wake up in the morning and every day, if you call them and they say, I'm just sick? No matter what you tell them, no matter what you say, and you say, hi, how are you today in the morning? And the answer will come, you know what? I'm not well. and every day this is the answer you get, that's a negative attitude towards yourself. So I have seen many people who actually say that. And to be honest, this is what happens. They are not well all the time. Why? Because the law of attraction says you attract what you keep saying again and again and again. So if you keep saying, I'm not sick, then what will happen? You're not attracting sickness. But if you're saying, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick all the time, repeatedly, the brain, your body thinks that's what you want. And it actually reacts that way. So, how can I change this to a positive attitude? So, find a pattern. We all have a pattern. Now, I come from a background where my mother was paralyzed at the age when I was very, very young. So what was her story? Her story was that she was not well. I saw my mother being just sick on the bed all the time, and that was a negative pattern in her, which had gotten, because I knew she would have, now looking back when I realized, she gave up on life. She would have gotten up, gotten onto the wheelchair, or aided some help through the walking stick, and actually she was going to do it. But somewhere down the road I saw her giving up. What happened? The pattern of feeling pity, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, feeling sorry for oneself and thinking that by doing this I'll gain attention. Many of us stop the process of having a positive attitude towards our health. So, how can we change this? One thing is by positive thoughts. Master Choa Kok Sui always says, positive affirmations. Those of you who do meditation twin hearts with us, and those of you are pranic healers, I can see all of you in fact are pranic healers, that's why it's okay to talk about this. Is twin hearts meditation starts with a positive affirmation: Lord, make me an instrument of healing. Where there is darkness, let me sow light. Purposely, Master Chua must have chosen these words of Saint Francis of Assisi. Think about these words, look at the line of these words, and those of you are pranic healers, perhaps you can scan the energies of this word. They are all positive words. So imagine 25 minutes you're sitting there and doing a meditation on twin hearts, and all the vibration you're getting is positivity. What is going to happen to your cells? Your cells have a memory, and those memories then start changing, and different patterns starts taking in. Why do you think we always, Master Koksui has always advised and said, and that please spread pranic healing, spread twin hearts meditation? One of the reasons is because it can change the outlook of humanity. Imagine the humanity now, 25 minutes everybody starts having a positive attitude. By the end of it, you aura, your chakras, your energy body is filled with positive vibrations. So, what is going to happen? You're going to think like that. You're going to always think positively. That's why people who practice the twin house meditation for a prolonged period of time do start thinking positively, because one, we know that there are certain centers in the body which gets activated. You all know that. Those of you who do not know pranic healing, please join us. Go to one of the websites and check on the meditation twin hearts. We also have it on the global pranic healing website. Please join us for this meditation and see the magic which takes place after that. So I have noticed and seen a lot of changes in somebody's health. So when you're doing twin hearts meditation, you send the vibrations. It's like a gush of flushing energy which coming in, and your whole body is filled with these amazing positive vibrations. So you send this to your cells, your body, your eyes, your brain, and say, you know what, you're filled with this light. I am healthy, I am well. This is how you change, not just affirmations, but believing in it. So the minute you start saying this, you notice there's a big difference. So let's do a small experiment. Now, this experiment, for those of you pranic healers, may be easy for you. So I just want you to think about your liver. Those of you are able to scan, just run your fingers in the, feel the liver. Okay, just feel the energy of the liver. Those of you pranic healers can do that. Just feel the energy of the liver. Okay, just say, I'm feeling the energy of my liver. Okay, you know the vibration which you're feeling. Now just close your eyes for a minute and just send loving energies to your liver. Okay, just say, to my liver, I appreciate your function. To my liver, I am very, very appreciative to what you do. The detoxing that happens every minute, you are working tirelessly to make sure that my body is healthy. You're purifying the blood, and you are doing an amazing job. I appreciate you in my body. You are a beautiful, beautiful organ in my body. I send you positive vibrations. I send you positive love. And I know you do a very amazing job for me. Every single minute and second you're working, I appreciate the functions. I may not fully understand, although you're part of me, I may not understand what all the cells in my liver do. But to my cells, I send you peace, I send you positivity, I send you lots of love, and I know you're in super good health. Thank you. Say thank you, feel gratitude to this amazing part of our body, to a liver. So, those of you pranic healers, I would like you just to take your hand and just feel the energy now again. Do you notice there is a difference? How many felt it was a bit lighter now? Yes? What happened? What did we do? Nothing, just positive vibration. So imagine sending such positive vibrations to your body every day. Okay, those of you who've done pranic healing, you know, in advanced pranic healing the teacher has told us this is called instructive healing. Send positive vibrations to your body. Those of you who've done pranic psychotherapy know Master Cho always has given us a lot of tools to say have a positive image about your patient. Such are things which he has already given us as a healer, but these are things universally known also. Yes. So how about sending amazing vibrations to one part of your body which you know really pains and hurts? But how will you know it's hurting? Unless there is pain, you wouldn't know. So that's how the body communicates and tells you, you know what, I'm not at ease. Please, there is a disease. So send just a positive vibrations. Yes, after doing healing, those of you know how to do pranic healing, please do it. It works wonders. Yes, and then you send a nice positive vibration to it. It's like giving, a dessert after having food and saying, okay, this is a yummy dessert I'm going to have now. You know, that nice positive vibrations which come in after having a nice dessert. That's what the body receives when you send loving thoughts to it. Positive thoughts. Are there negative thoughts we send? Ask yourself. We do that all the time. So let's move into the second session, which is called the relationship. Many of us have conflicts. Now, I want you to take your hand like this. Just do your hand like this and try and do this. Is there a friction when the hands are a little further away? No, they're further away, so there's no really friction. But join your hands. Okay, join your hand. This is one of the experiment our guru always, our teacher always tells us. So now do this. Rub your hands. They're together, right? There is heat and there is a friction. What does this tell you? When two people meet together, there will always be a friction. Okay, so how do we handle this friction? Pandemic has taught us a lot of things. Maybe it came to teach us certain lessons. You know, in January, I was at the airport, and for some reason, some strange reason, I was looking at people running around. I was actually at one of the airports, where a very busy airport, and I saw people are rushing. They were dragging their children along. Some of them are leaving the children away. Some of them are rushing to the gates, and everybody seemed like in a roller coaster ride. And it's very interesting. Just in January, I was observing this, and I was thinking, people are always in such a rush. How do we slow down time so people are a little relaxed and they're not always running, catching planes, catching meetings? When we call our loved ones, many times, I'm in a meeting, I'll call you back. There's always this rush. And then when we're going home, there's traffic jams. When you're going to work, there's traffic jams. You go in supermarkets, there's lines. Malls, they're full. It's like everybody's just buzzing. It's become like bee business, buzzing. Everyone is just running around. So it was very interesting. Just in January, I was thinking like that. And then that is the time the pandemic had really started. By March, things got a little worse. So I was reflecting and looking at, and I'd like you to do that also. What are the lessons the pandemic has brought for us? How do we only look at the negative of what we've learned? What about looking at it as a positive thing which has happened on planet Earth? It is not good that pandemic is there. It is not good that people are dying. But look at it from a positive perspective. What has it taught us? Let's look at relationships. I know there have been domestic violences during this pandemic time. Why? Because many people now are spending time. I know a lady who was sharing that her and her husband had never been together in one room for maybe more than a week because her husband used to work out of town and she has her own knitting business. She does a lot of knitting and stuff. So she's usually busy selling her stuff to the market and very busy. Suddenly, the husband had to be home. A man who is always busy, 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 busy. He's used to aeroplanes. He's used to traveling. He's used to meetings the whole time. The pattern in his body is that I'm a busy man. Now, suddenly, he was sitting in the house, and the wife was still busy, by the way, knitting and just trying to prepare stuff and all that. And she said we had the worst nightmare for 2 3 weeks in our house because we didn't know what to say to each other. We didn't know what to do. So when he couldn't watch TV all the time, he was getting frustrated, almost to a verge of depression. So his way of experimenting with this pandemic, not knowing what to do, he's a humble man, so he wouldn't quarrel. Instead, he would go in the room and lock himself up and didn't want to talk, didn't want to relate, didn't want to eat. And she was wondering, what on earth am I going to do? This is not a good sign. So she tried to reach out with not really much of conversations happening. Thank God she's a pranic healer. So what did she do? She started healing her husband a little bit, trying to clean his energy centers, which we know are related to pranic psychotherapy. And she started blessing him, and she also started doing the meditation twin hearts with a little loud volume so he could hear it also. He used to practice once in a while, although he's not a pranic healer. But this is where she said the twin hearts meditation played a major role, because she said when I did the twin hearts meditation, I used to reach the volume a little higher so it could reach in the bedroom where he was just lying down, maybe reading a newspaper or doing whatever he was doing. And she said after a week she saw him melting down a bit. She saw him then coming out of the room and trying to be a little bit more happier, not really happy, but more at peace. Now, she was able to reach out to him and tell him, we can't do this. This will harm us, our relationship. You can't hide away. I know. How about doing things with me in the house? So apparently, she said things did get better because he found himself gardening, which he never did before. Okay, he would never garden. He didn't know how, but now he took the skill up because he needed to keep his mind busy, and that really made a big difference in him. But she really contributes and says meditation twin hearts helped me heal this relationship. Otherwise things would have gone really sore. How many stories have we heard this? Now, this guy was not violent. He hid himself in the room. How many of you have heard of them who are coming out and actually hitting their wives or husband or children, and they do not know how to do an outlet? So the outlet is going into the physical violence bit. So aren't we lucky that we have at least a tool? Like, I think if I talk to many of my family friends who are pranic healers and friends who are also in this group, actually their life has been more busier than it was before. Now they say, okay, I will do pranic healing, I will do healings, I will do meditation twin hearts, and it has helped them a lot keep their cool. They are not losing their temper, they are more at peace. So my dear friends, let's look at what has happened positively also. you know Another person was saying, I have saved a lot of money. That brings us next to money also. And I was asking, what do you mean she said, I am not going to spend money like I used to. She said, I used to go shopping so much. We used to go to the movies every Sunday, and we used to eat out at least twice a week. And she said, suddenly we are not doing anything. She was not an amazing cook herself, but she said, suddenly I am cooking at home and I really have enjoyed this skill. And she was, I can't remember the figure, but she actually mentioned that she was saving money because now there are no restaurant bills, movie theater bills are not there, and unnecessary shopping has stopped. Is this a positive thing to happen? I definitely look at it as a yes. I don't know. What do you think about it? So, if we look at the pandemic as a negative approach, it also has its positive qualities. It has come with that. So, if we look at this again, at relationship, which I'm going to go through it again, let's look at it our perspective of a relationship before we come to money matters. Yeah. In relationship, inner peace is having relationships which are filled with communication. Maybe this is a time you start communicating. Many of us don't share our inner views with our spouses, with our family, with our in-laws, with the people who we associate with. Now we are stuck in the house with them. I mean, now things are getting better, but is this an opportunity to open up some good communication, sharing how you feel, sharing how you felt, where things were not going right? Is there love in your relationship? How do you define love? Love again has a positive energy, but how do I define love in my relationship? Do I feel love for the person sitting next to me? Or am I always angry and agitated? And if I am angry and agitated, why am I like that? That will bring us to the next topic. We need to understanding the other person, where they come from, is very important, and also forgiving. Now, I'll go back again. This relationship does not mean with another person. How about this relationship with yourself? Are you doing these four things to yourself? Do you have a positive approach towards your relationship with yourself? How much harm are you doing to yourself by criticizing, by having negative attitudes in your life about yourself? Have you thought of that? Have you really looked into that? Okay, before we look into others. So when relationships go wrong, we have to understand the lessons which need to be learned and not start blaming. So many schools, including our teachers school, Pranic Healing and others, and in many schools they teach us something called mindful meditation. That means reflecting on your day and your relationship and asking certain questions. So what is it that I have to learn? So I'll share a story with you, that there was this lady and she got married. When she got married, she got this guy was really a cool guy, but then he used to start abusing her just after a couple of months. And not just the abuser, he also had a physical abusive relationship with her. He would hit her. So after I think a year or two, she decided she's going to divorce him. So that was the end of their story. This is a relationship she was explaining to someone, and then this is a third party thing which I've heard. Then she got another relationship. Okay, after a couple of months, same thing, same violent energy, same man hitting her. So she was very sad and saying, "Why do I attract such man? Why do I have to be beaten up every time?" And all that story was repeating. Then, to my amazement, she also got married the third time. And the third time, the guy is usually very nice in the beginning, but then he changes after a couple of months. So now there's a pattern. What is that pattern? So let's look at the negative pattern which was happening. So this other healer was telling this lady, she's saying, "It's not the man, it's you." And she got very offended with this. And she said, "What do you mean it's me? I am a good person. I am this." He said, "Let's do some reflection on yourself. What are you doing? What are you saying to your husbands apparently now, that it's made them have violent energies?" When she was reflecting on her life, she realized she had a very abusive father when she was a child. Now, her father used to beat up her mother, and because of that, she was always angry, agitated with her father. She always blamed whatever happened to her father. So, what was the pattern there? All the three husbands, she used to tell them, "You just like my father, you just another man like my father." Every small argument they had, she would bring this story up. In her mind, she would see her father hitting the mother, and she was throwing the same energy effects to these husbands, whoever they were. So, what do you think happened? Energy follows thought, law of attraction. She was actually making these people be like her father by telling them continuously every small argument. So this person then helped her with Twin Hearts meditation, inner forgiveness towards herself, towards her father, because she had never forgiven her father. She was always angry. So in between, psychologically, subconscious, conscious mind was looking for a father in these figures of her husbands. And she attracted those same energies. Apparently, we understand she did get married the fourth time, and things were much better because her patterns changed. She had a positive attitude now towards how she was approaching her life, how she was approaching her husband's, or her husband now, rather, sorry. So apparently she did get things better. So who was the person to culprit, to blame here? If you really look at it, it's usually us. So the vibration, the positivity needs to change from us. So if you get up in the morning, what is your relationship towards yourself? You look into the mirror and do you say good morning to yourself? And do you send these positive vibrations to yourself? Or do you criticize yourself? Oh my God, my nose is not too fat. I have this, this is not right. My hair looks like this and that and that. Or you're too even scared to look at yourself in the mirror. I've had people who we said, why don't you do good morning to yourself? Have a positive mirror work, send positive vibrations to yourself. And this person or persons I have seen, which I was one of them, I wouldn't look at myself in the mirror. I just wouldn't look at myself in the eyes because every time I looked, I didn't look at a positivity about who I was. I was looking at the negative qualities of what I could see. Oh, my eyebrow doesn't look okay today. My nose is too fat. I am putting on weight. My skin doesn't look great. Now, all the negative thoughts which you sit and send towards yourself, how do you think the cells react? This is called the vibrations which your body receives. Those of you who have done pranic healing, you know what happens to the aura. Immediately the aura depletes, immediately there's a change of energy in your centers. That is one of the reasons we do not progress. If I can't love myself, or if I can't have a positive attitude towards myself, how can I love another? Yes. How can I say I love you when I don't love myself, when I keep criticizing myself? So, how I see myself, sometimes I go out and I notice I'm criticizing others. Why? Because inside me, I don't have peace. So, that relationship with yourself is not in harmony. You're not happy with yourself. And sometimes these patterns have come from our childhood. Maybe they've been put in when we were growing up from our parents. So this is where I feel amazing handy tools of pranic healing, which has really surfaced out, where we can heal our aches and pains and remove these emotions. And twin hearts meditation is a flushing technique. We all know that it plays an amazing, amazing work. Okay, we all need to appreciate ourselves. Now, if you come to our pranic healing classes, and there's a quote which the teacher uses, a universal quote from the Bible, he said, we are all made in the image of God. We are all gods. Now, if I look at that sentence, that blew me out after many years, because I didn't understand. I was just reading it. And I was just trying to understand, if we are made on the image of God, that means I'm God. How can I cannot perform miracles? But if I look at my body, I am a miracle. This is one of the most amazing machines God has ever made. But how much are we appreciating it? Right now, you are sitting there, your blood is circulating into your body. 900 gallons, apparently, the kidney filters and sends it to the spleen, and God knows what else to the heart, and the heart pumps, and all that mechanism is happening. We are not even aware of it. Why? Because we take our body for granted. Your heart is beating. Most of the time, we don't even hear it. But if that heart stops, that's the end of you. Yes? So if that is the end of me, then I'm not even appreciating what happens to the heart. So if I'm not appreciating what is in me, how can I understand other things? So, my dear friends, your relationship with your body is very important. Your relationship with yourself is very important. More and more, I realized this when the pandemic started hitting, when I saw people in hospitals. And you know what? This is what I say, we have a positive life transformation tool with us. I am no longer standing there helpless anymore. When I have pranic healing tools, when I have the twin hearts meditation, if I can't heal somebody because they haven't asked me, at least I can go home and bless. I have the tools, I can sit there and send loving healing energies to the person. I have the tools, I don't feel helpless. This is what I say to everyone when we try and say to them, you know what? When you have the tools, it's like a mechanic, walking with his toolbox, his car breaks down, he knows what to do. So we are a vehicle. I wish we could understand that we can fix ourselves and we can fix others also by just many times is using the tools which we have for a positive reason and also to help others. Now, I go to the hospital sometimes when we visit people who are not well, or we go for a normal checkups and all that. Right now, of course, we are all trying to avoid hospitals, and I see people desperate on the corridors, not knowing what to do. They're sitting there, they're helpless, they're praying for their loved ones, they're really not feeling amazing and saying, you know what, I need help, God help us, God help us. And I say, why are you helpless? You can do a healing, you can bless this person. Don't feel helpless ever if you have pranic healing. And that realization came to me when my own son was sick. That is what brought me into pranic healing in the year 2004. I never looked back, because for a mother, having your son, your child, breathing well, and he's at ease, no disease. Do you know how beautiful feeling that is for a mother? How stress reliever that is? And the feeling that, wow, I am able to do this. God has given me this amazing tool. I felt one of the most beautiful gifts had been given to me. After that, I never looked back, and I wanted to release this disease from everyone. And I thought, okay, let me try my best. Of course, God is the healer. The healing happens through, I'm an instrument. At least I don't sit helpless. So that was a turning point. That was a positive attitude I had. And I'm hoping that many of you will look into this. The thing is, I met a friend last week, and she was really having a very bad pain. Actually, I spoke to her on the phone, not really meet. And I said, oh, you don't sound okay. Are you all right? And she said, yeah, my back is really hurting. And I told her, did you do some healing? And she's been another pranic healer for many, many years with me and all that. You know what? She said, oh, I never thought of it. So for me, I was thinking, okay, it's like you're a mechanic, yet you have the tools, but you don't know how to fix your car. And then you wonder, why am I in pain? Why am I going through what I'm going through? When we have the tools, don't put them down, my dear friends. Yes, your tools are your pranic healing books, your salt basin, and all that we get with it, and understanding the energy centers, how they work. And it's magic, you know. So just a few months ago, I was reading the advanced pranic healing book of the teacher, and I thought, you know what, I am falling in love with pranic healing. I've never felt like that about anything, but I was like, I'm falling in love with pranic healing once again, because it was just amazing. Now, let's go into another issue of us. So relationship means you have to forgive yourself also. Have a positive attitude. Who is perfect in this room? No one. So, are we working towards being perfect? Yeah. Will we reach there in one lifetime? I don't know. But at least we are trying. We are not where we were. If you look at your life 10, 15 years ago, changed. There's a lot of changes which has happened. So, what are we doing about it? Lessons learned. So look at your life, reflect. This is a teachings which come from many, many schools. So understand what is a lesson I had to learn. So I shared a story about this lady who have got married 3 times. What was her lesson? Her lesson was to let go of the past and not have repeated thoughts to her husband, whoever she was getting married to, and keep saying, you're like my father. You're like, her lesson was that. Her lesson was to let go of the past. We all have different lessons to learn. So be aware. It's only by being aware we are able to come out of these old patterns. So ask yourself, what is it that I need to learn? If my body is not well, what is it that I need to change about it? If my relationships are not really 100% fantastic, what is it that I need to change about them? Do I need to be more loving? Maybe you're too harsh. Do I need to be more firm? Maybe you're too loving. You're a doormat. You're being used. Do I say yes to everything? Maybe I need to say no. You see, positive life transformation does not mean always saying yes, yes, yes. There are times you have to say no and be firm. Have you reflected on that? So sit 5 minutes every day and look at your day. And those of you who have done pranic healing, follow the character building, the golden rule. Remember the golden rule? Do to others what you want others to do to you. It's in the Bible, it's in all religions. Yes? And then looking at the virtues one by one and understanding what is a lesson I have to learn from here. I have seen people who have been very sweet and kind, very positive, amazing people, but to others. But when they come to themselves, they are so critical. They are so angry at themselves. So, where does the love come when it comes to yourself? Or, I have seen people outside with their friends, amazing, very gentle and sweet. But when you go with them to the house, you notice they are so angry with everyone in the house. They are so, how do I put it? They are so tired. They are so angry, frustrated. So, what happens there? So, my dear friends, if we have to live a positive life transformation, we have to circle it. It has to be a round circle in every field of our lives. And don't forget yourself in that process. Okay? So, let's come to our other topic, which brings us to finances. What did pandemic teach us? I think it's teaching us to save. If you really ask me, because if you look at it, how much money, like I told you, this friend was saying she doesn't go to the shops like she used to, no movies anymore, and no hotel bills, which used to happen in a very excessive way. And then people have lost, how, what is your attitude towards money? I have seen people, when you ask them how's work, and the answer comes, oh, work is so bad, there's no money. There's lack of gratitude there, no positive. Money is energy. Relationships are energy. Love is an energy. Hate is an energy. Anger is an energy. Those of you come from an energy school, they know that. We are not going to share you techniques of our other high courses, but think about it. Money is a vibration. If money is good, then it is good because it's in our life. It makes you comfortable. It can buy you stuff which you need to buy. It can give you a good livelihood. But what happens if you start having a negative attitude towards this amazing finances? Now, instead of saying, thank you, God, I have heard people say, I don't have enough, money is not good, things are really tough. What kind of vibrations are you sending out? Negative vibrations. So we need to change. Find yourself. Do you do that? Think about this also. Am I doing this? Am I sending negative vibrations to these amazing energies of money? Sometimes we've been told, money is not good. Too much money, if you have, it can, create issues. Money is bad luck. Some people believe in those things. These are just negative thoughts about money. That's why many people, how many people do you know who are rich in this world? A handful. How many people you know who are struggling? Many handfuls. How many people do you know who have a little bit struggling life? Many, many handfuls. Why is there a difference? What is the difference in that? There's a lack of gratitude in many of us, and also the attitude towards money. Our teacher in many other places in our courses, if you want to do Pranic Healing, and those of you who have not done Krishakti, I will ask you to take it once the course is open. You will understand. He talks about all this. And even now, it's just a vibration. If you say, I don't have, then that is the energy you're sending to the universe saying, I don't have. How about saying, money comes to me easily, I'm grateful, thank you for all the blessings of prosperity, I have enough to feed me and my family? When you start saying those things, you are actually inviting a lot of, in Arabic we say baraka, we are inviting a lot of good luck to your home, to your place. That's why in many religions you see, like especially in the Hindu religion, they actually have a deity called Lakshmi, and you see them actually have praying to this deity and sending vibrations and all that. But why have these things been put in? Because this is a positive attitude to say, look, money is good to have. Imagine without money we are limited, but with money you can sponsor people, for maybe give them good health, pay for somebody's medical bills, buy them food, feed the hungry. There is so many things you can do. Yeah, all the great people in the world, if you notice, they all give charities. Look at Bill Gates and others who who are quite well off or whatever. Charity is one of the things which they really participate in. All the rich people, they do that, and the more you give, the more you have. So the Bible says give 10% of your as a tithe. All the other religions say that. In the Islamic tradition we have zakat, give zakat. Why do you think all religions talk about giving? Because if you don't give, you can't receive. Energy follows thought. Your body responds to you. Now, I would like you to do one experiment, okay? Do this to your hands, both your hands. Just do this. This is a vibration you're giving out. Yeah, you're giving. Now, do this to your hand. Okay, so this is the one which will receive, and this is the one which will give. So imagine you just want to give, but you don't want to receive. You close this hand and you say, I will not receive. You are blocking the flow. There's another experiment to this, which we are not allowed to share here anyway. But you say, I just want to receive, and this hand is at the back, doesn't want to give. How is there a balance? There's no balance here, correct? So, but if both hands come forward and you say, I want to receive and at the same time give, then you're opening the flow. This is called positivity. You can't just say, I'll give but not receive. You have to also be prepared to receive. Whether you like it or not, it'll come back to you tenfold. You also have to give in order to receive. So you can't just say, I am entitled to receive, but I will not give. How do you think it's going to happen? Those of you done pranic healing, we have to do the energizing and the cleansing or whatever comes in. Without the flow, nothing will happen. You close one hand, the other hand will not, the flow is not going to take place. So we have to balance our lives and we have to think positively. Okay. So next time you look at your money, what are you going to do? You're going to pay gratitude to it and you're going to say thank you. When you receive your salaries, you receive your pocket money. For those of you are not working, for those of you maybe get money otherwise, like you get paid for some services you do and all that, look at the money, whichever way you receive it, whether a check, a bank transfer. In Kenya, we have something called M-Pesa. You look at that, and first, before you do anything, you close your eyes and have a positive attitude towards this money. What is a positive attitude? It's simple, nothing difficult. Just say thank you. Thank you to the universe for providing me with an income, providing me with these finances, which don't start criticizing. Oh my God, I have a budget of $100 and I'm receiving only $50. If you have that negative thought, which I have seen with many people, you're already stopping the flow. Because the first thing is, okay, I have a budget of $100 this month, I only got paid $50. And I have seen people, when I'm even paying wages to our workers and all that, many of them don't receive it with a positive attitude. The first thing is worry. They get lines here on their head, they start worrying. Oh my God, I've received $50, I have so many debts, what will remain? Instead of looking at this money and saying, thank you, first paying thank you and then trying to understand how am I going to spend it. So I would like to emphasize to my dear friends here who have joined us in this group today with the Global Pranic Healing, have a positive attitude first. Feel gratitude. Whether the money is less or more, you will deal with that later. Your attitude towards receiving that money, first of all, should be in a very positive vibration. Say, thank you, God, for providing me with this money. Many people don't even have what I have. I'd like to say, first of all, thank you to you. And then the best way to live your life is to budget it. Yeah. If you're going to have $50 as an income and you have a budget of $100, then there's something wrong somewhere. So maybe try and cut down budget. And one thing is giving is, the Christian Bible, the Quran, and other old teachings, the universal teachings say 10% give out. These are not only pranic healing teaches, which the teacher reminds us, but it's in every law. So give out the money. The first thing you should be doing that. I am a living example of this. And trust me, it has not failed for thousands of people. It is not going to fail for you, my dear friends. It is in giving that you receive. So start having good karma. Generating, giving money is a smart thing to do. All right. So have a positive attitude. Yes, I know of somebody who was giving out 10% of his money out, and for a whole 2 years they were not getting much returns back. In fact, they said nothing, no income has been generated, nothing has been multiplied. So they were doubting this donation aspect, saying, really, does this work really happening? So again, I'm going to emphasize on reflection to you. Please sit down, go through your life in a day, at night. So I did this with this person, and I said, okay, let's look at these 2 years of your life. So we went through it. I said, have you paid any hospital bills in in these 2 years? And this person said, no, by the way, no, she had psoriasis on her body, a lot of psoriasis. She used to get psoriasis, or maybe, yeah, I'm not too sure, the skin disorder, not the pain, if I'm pronouncing it correct, I couldn't remember, and something like eczema. So she said, you know what, that is healed. She suddenly clicked. Her creams used to cost her a lot of money every month. So she actually told me, she said, yeah, you're right. That expense has not happened. Has your husband fallen sick? And she said, no. Have your children fallen sick for these 2 years? And she said, no. So I said, have you made a saving there? So she calculated on the amount of creams she had to buy every year. And usually her daughter used to be very, very ill here. Up and downs used to happen a lot. And that whole 2 years, there were no hospital bills. So she had apparently saved some hundreds of dollars in medical bills. So I said, this is how it comes back also. Don't expect it always in money. And to me, my friends, if you have health, if you have good health, you have all the wealth in the world, because money cannot buy you ease. Remember that the disease which comes in you, the money cannot buy you that ease. You can have millions of dollars and you're in a critical condition, and none of that will save if you're not meant to be saved. Yes, or sometimes you can be in a very critical pain, you are ready to give anything to get rid of that pain. At that time money doesn't matter, that time clothes don't matter, that time any amazing cuisine will not appetite you. You just want the pain to go away. So you see, health is something very important. For this lady, things got better after 2 years. But just trying to say, sometimes we think that it will come back in these resources or money, 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 money all the time. It comes back in other things. So count your blessings. And reflection is very important, because sometimes you miss these little things. You're looking at, okay, this is because you have expectations. No, God should answer your prayer in a certain way. Things should happen to you in a certain way, but they don't. And you don't reflect, and you don't realize the blessings are just passing by and you didn't really notice them. So, my sweet friends, I will really ask us to reflect on positivity. Have a positive attitude towards life. Sometimes try and understand, maybe the other person is having a bad day. It's not always about you. So having a positive attitude towards a person changes a person also. So if you have an angry spouse every day, and that is a vibration you're sending to this angry spouse or mother-in-law or whoever, or a boss, and saying, this person is always angry, this person is always angry. We all know energy follows thought. That is a vibration you're sending to them. That's exactly what is going to magnify. So supposingly, if you start changing your attitude and make it a positive one and said, this person also has good qualities. This person is calm. This person has, even if you don't feel like at that moment saying something nice, you try and do that. You say, okay, this person has a positive attitude. This person is more calmer when they're around me. You will notice a big difference. Okay, the teacher always says, bless the person, send pink light to the people, have a positive attitude. Meditation, Twin Hearts, is one of the best ways to do that. When you're doing your meditation, send positive vibrations to your family, to the people who you're having a difficult time with. Change the pattern. Change the pattern. It is you who can do it, nobody else. The great Mahatma Gandhi said something amazing. He said, be the change you want to see in the world. You can't expect other people to change. Your attitude needs to change. So we have noticed that people who start blessing and changing and having a positive attitude. So if you have a stubborn child that doesn't listen, start changing that vibration and say, this child is listening, this child is more disciplined now, this child is doing ABCD. Within few weeks or even a month, you will notice a difference. But you have to do it, and it's a constant effort of doing it. So when you find yourself sending negative vibration, try and stop yourself, reflect. The key here is reflect. Why am I saying this? Why do I keep having these repeated patterns, thoughts about myself or others or the world at large? For example, I will give you an information now. There is, if there, we come from an African country. When there are political rallies going on, and if there is going to be an election, everybody gets a little heated up. Everyone is a little bit on the edge, because sometimes there is violence, sometimes which triggers. So what happens? We, like for example, I'm going to give you our country's example. I live in Kenya. We're a population of 40 million people. Now imagine 30 million people sending negative vibrations to the political leaders. 30 million. Every day they're getting up and say, these people are these negative thoughts are being sent to the political leaders. What do you think is going to happen? Okay, the other 10 million, maybe they're young or they're not aware or they don't care, so they're not part of this. But we have seen when there are rallies taking place, there are 90% who are negative about the whole situation, and only 10 people are looking at the positivity which will come out. That is one of the reasons we feed those thoughts, we feed those vibrations of negativity. So we need to change those attitude. It's not only about us, it's also how we look into the country, how we look into the world at a large. So today we are saying COVID is bad. 2020 has been a horrible year. Never a year like this. I see so many posts people put on Facebook, WhatsApp, really cursing 2020. But have you looked at the positivity it also brought? It brought people to a slower zone. People suddenly realized it is important to have a meal at home as a family. Many families were not eating together because they were just running to meetings and their own social commitments and other things they were doing. Suddenly, this brought a stop to that. That's a positive thing. So many things changed. There has been also a positivity with 2020. Have we looked into that? If anything, today pranic healing is playing a very major role, in every pranic healer's home, because suddenly we value the teachings. We value that I know this healing, so I can help my loved ones. I can help people who are not well using this tool. I have an opportunity to spread the meditation on twin hearts and bring a positive attitude towards people's lives. So 2020 has not been all negative in many areas of our lives. Reflect is what the few words before we end this session today. I'd like to just leave you with something which I'm reflecting on, and I'm actually writing down the positivity which has come out of 2020. So take a diary and list down the positive things or the positive images which you've had and the positive experiences of 2020. I for sure have a lot to thank for. Yes, there's so many gratitude thanks to the teacher, or for giving us these tools of pranic healing. I have that gratitude. I have gratitude that I have been able to reflect on my life, sit at home, be a little bit more relaxed than running a marathon every day, meetings, traveling, and all that. They are important, but they were really, really not serving us anymore. Maybe this was needed to make people realize and value health, especially. People are taking things for granted. Your body talks to you, remember, before it falls sick. But sometimes we ignore these signs. If you go to the doctors, they will tell you 3 months before a heart attack happens, the body warns you. But you're too busy running in airports, running, doing your errands. You don't notice that little arm pain. You don't notice this twitching which is happening at the back. So such things are ignored. Why? Because we're too busy. So 2020 has actually given us many lessons. So before we close the session today, I'd like us to reflect on 5 things which you are grateful for. Okay, so close your eyes before we end this session, and we will invoke for help and ask God to give us all the light that we have received. Okay, one thing, just think about your health. Are you able to see? Are you able to hear? Are you able to walk? Are you able to talk? Just be grateful. Say thank you to my body. Say grace to God and say, Dear Lord, thank you for blessing me with good health in this COVID situation. I know many people are going through a difficult time, but me, I'm well, and I'd like to say a big, big, big thank you to you. Are you getting a meal every day in your house, or are you struggling? 3 meals a day, some of you even 4 meals perhaps. Say thank you. Thank you, God. In this pandemic times, I still get a meal on my table, and I'd like to say a big thank you. Do you still have finances which you're able to cover? You have clothing on your body. You're able to help other people. You're not helpless. Say thank you for this energy. Thank you, God, for blessing me with the ability to help others with what resources I have. I'm in such a better place. Thank you. Are you in a position when if somebody comes and knocks your door and you're able to give them extra food or maybe clothing or maybe a little bit of money if they need? You are. So say thank you. We are not so badly off. Now, above of, are you helpless? If something happens or somebody is sick in your house, do you have the tools of pranic healing? Those of you are pranic healers. Do you have the tools of twin hearts meditation so you're able to bless? That's what I call positive life transformation. I am not helpless. I have the tools. Verbally affirm, I have the tools. And I feel gratitude to God for blessing me with so much love, light, power. I have so much I have to be grateful for. Thank you. All is in my favor. All is well in my life. To this ultimate supreme God, thank you for blessing us all with lots of positive energies, blessing us with gratitude that we appreciate what we have rather than what we don't have. Thank you for transforming my life, changing the patterns in my body to be positive, to be aware of my health, to be aware of my finances and feel grateful, and to cherish my relationships with others and with myself. Thank you for all the blessings that we receive immensely. Allow me to be aware and sensitive to them. Remind me that I exist. Thank you for blessing me with light and love and power and peace and all that I have. Say thank you, thank you, thank you. Be grateful as the Lord has done wonders on you. You're an image, you're the only unique person. Have a positive attitude towards everything you do. Have a positive life transformation with so many tools which we have. Well, the best tool is gratitude. Yes. Thank you for giving me this opportunity on the behalf of the Global Pranic Healing. We say thank you to each one of us here who have joined this session. And somewhere down the road, we hope that it made an impact in our life, has changed something about us. For me, it surely has. I always try and look at things with a positive attitude nowadays. It's helping me. It hasn't brought 100% changes, but it is a good reminder. So thank you again. Namaste from the Pranic Healing Foundation East Africa here, part of the Global Pranic Healing. My name is Shahwana Khanam, and I hope to see you soon with a positive outlook and a positive energy with all each one of you. Thank you.